Oh, coming at you here from the ATX. I'm Mason Carmichael from a remote location. I'm not telling these guys where I am. Recovering from an ACL surgery. It's the Box to Box Radio podcast. With me, as always, is Travis Carmichael. For the first time with me, it's Mr. Travis Ade and the man, the myth, the legend, the patriarch, Mr. Greg Carmichael. Fellas, I know I can't see your sparkling faces, but how are we doing, boys?
Doing great, man. Wish you were here with us.
Yeah, I think you're a coward. You're hiding your face.
Oh, really?
Because Liverpool will not win the title, so you're hiding your face.
Oh, my God. Hey, Brendan Rodgers, we trust, man. He's going to get it done for us.
But no, great to be here. And obviously, Mason, hope you're doing well with your ACL. Glad you could join us via remote location.
Yeah, I'm
Darth Vader himself.
Figuring out that Skype, bro.
That's it.
Darth Vader himself
Living the
on
dream.
the mic.
And I got his back. He's going to be
Vader.
Good. Take another pain pill and let's go.
That's right. Hey, I got a Domino's pizza sitting next to me, so if you guys hear loud chewing into the microphone, I got to eat. So,
That's the dream, man.
That.
That's the dream.
It is a dream. I don't have to be around you fools. I do miss producer Chris, though. He's my soul brother. Just sad that I don't get to be around y'all, but I have, in my absence, gotten to watch a lot of soccer. So I hope you boys are ready. I am polished up and ready to go. So be on your A game.
Yeah, man, we're ready to go. And man, I just want to let you know, Mason, before we start to put you off a little bit. I'm sitting in your seat. Sorry.
Are you kidding me?
I am sitting in your bench. I'm sorry. In producer Chris's kitchen.
Producer Chris.
It's a full table.
I'm not okay with this.
It is a full table, man.
Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. All right, boys, cut the shenanigans here. I'm a professional. I want to get this going.
Oh my God.
I'm working when I'm injured, and I shouldn't have to be. But, guys, I want to bring our listeners the best content we can. So, starting it off, what did y'all watch this weekend? I know you guys haven't been laying around the house watching games like I have because you got lives, you got things to do. But I'm going to kick it to you, A-Day. New blood. What have you been watching, man?
It's a league you guys don't talk about too much, the Scottish League.
Boy, well done.
Celtic.
Tim Way is my dad.
Oh, there you go, bro.
Wait, I thought Greg was your dad. I'm confused.
Yeah, what's going on here?
DNA test is not back yet.
I've heard him take a take. I think he's your father.
It's legally obligated if they request
Okay.
it. Anyway,
Sponsored by 23andMe.
Anyway,
God.
Celtic going for their third treble in a row. They play Hearts in the Scottish Cup final on the 25th, and that will complete 3 trebles in a row. That would be the League Cup, and the Scottish Cup. So Celtic,
but they're like Scottish trebles. They're like mini trebles.
Yeah.
Right?
So hold on.
It's not the same as.
So they're the Juventus of the North.
Wow. So what's a treble even
Tim
in
Weah is
Scotland?
my Ronaldo.
It's the League Cup, and the Scottish Cup.
Yeah, but does that count?
Apparently.
Is it so?
In
Is
Scotland,
it? Is it
does.
like?
Not if you're an
All they
Arsenal
do is
fan.
drink.
If you're an Arsenal fan, it counts because they never win anything. But.
Whoa, relax. Is there like a little star next to it? Oh, Scottish treble.
An asterisk, yeah.
So it's
Perhaps.
it's Celtic, it's Rangers, and
Aberdeen and Hearts.
Hearts of Midlothian.
Hearts are good, man.
Hibernian.
Inverness.
Shout out to Emerson Hyndman with Hibernian.
Hey, come on, Emerson.
He was there for a little bit.
Hey, it's a great 12 team league.
Hey, man, it's like the A-League.
Oh, you don't talk smack about the A-League.
I love me the A-League.
I love
One
me
of these
some-
days, boys, I'm going to do a whole show about the A-League.
I love me some Usain Bolt.
In my CM De Jong Sydney FC jersey.
Wow. Let's pull that one out of the air.
Hey, man, pain pills are great things, boys.
Wow.
so Travis, we kind of stole your thunder there. You were kind of going to get into the whole triple treble.
Which one? Hold on. Which Travis?
A-Day.
I can't see, so this is hard for me.
A-Day.
Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
I was just talking about how peculiar that was, and that's a feat that probably not many other clubs in the world have done. So Celtic going 3 for 3 for 3 years.
That's pretty impressive. I mean,
Pretty
you
impressive,
win in
yeah.
the league you're in, and if your league sucks, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
that's a good point, and I think, Trav, that's something that we don't talk about that much, so that's a good shout. Mason, but you're the one who had a lot of time on your hands, so I'm really curious as what you watched with all your free time sitting at home doing a whole lot of nothing.
I put on my favorite Tarantino movie titled The Demise of Borussia Dortmund.
Oh, wow.
It is a multiple act play in which Borussia Dortmund proceeds to pull out a revolver and repeatedly shoot themselves in the foot. So I'm talking about the Bremen game where they hosted Dortmund this weekend. Guys, it was a pretty open affair. It was really weird. Matt Doyle on Twitter was really interested in the graphic that came out before the game that said Pulisic was lining up at right back, which we then learned that it was Akanji that was playing right back and Pulisic was on the wing, which thank goodness, because guys, he had a phenomenal goal in this one, exploiting the space, dribbling through 4 defenders for Bremen and slotting it home. Great finish in the 6 minutes, so really early for this one. And then the guy that's been on fire all year for Dortmund, Paco Alcacer, in the 41st, coming in and scoring again. It was 2-0 Dortmund, but guys, they just, again, reloaded their gun, cocked it, pointed it at their foot, and said, here goes nothing. Bremen in the 70th and 75th, the 170-year-old ageless wonder Claudio Pizarro with the goal to tie the game in the 75th minute. Ex-Bayern Munich Claudio Pizarro, I might add.
Wow.
Guys, Dortmund got to be out of it now. It was pretty bad. Looking at the standings for you, Bayern are now 4 points ahead with 2 games left to play in the season. Not looking good at all for Borussia Dortmund. And Bayern, of course, this weekend, they beat Hannover yesterday 3-1. They're just rolling. Guys, it's looking like another Bayern Munich trophy again.
Mason, you're not here, so you can't hear it, but that's the sound of the wheels falling off of Borussia Dortmund.
I heard it all the way from here.
I mean, this is
all the way from Germany, really.
Yeah, and it really looked promising the first half.
Yeah,
they really looked great. Pulisic was playing great, and then there was some shocking goalkeeping.
You always had a feeling that they were going to give it away.
Which,
yes.
It was like mid-2000s Liverpool. Like, how good could they actually be?
I mean, but also, Greg, you're spot on. That goal both goals were soft, but my goodness, what is Berkey doing? Like, he just threw it through his own legs.
Yeah, that was not a good day at the office for Mr. Roman Berkey there.
As a goalkeeper, and Trav can attest to this.
Goalkeeper union.
We got too many goalkeepers on the show. It's ridiculous.
That's fine.
You never put your knee all the way to the ground.
No.
One, it went through his hands, which weak wrists.
Pinkies together, baby.
And then through his legs also. So he beat himself twice.
Hey,
basically.
he went to the David De Gea School of Net Minding.
Wow.
He said.
Hey, he did not use his
net
feet.
minding.
He did not use his feet.
And then, the second goal, very soft defending from Akanji.
Yeah.
Let the Bremen player around him, chips it to Pizarro, first time volley. Goalkeeper gets a hand on it, but it was hit with a lot of pace. So the game ends 2-2. I want to go back to the Bayern Hanover game. Bayern walked away with the win 3-1. Ribery iced it late, potential MLS target here.
Watch out.
But the one story that I wanted to touch on, Jonathas subbed on at halftime, converts the penalty in the 51st minute, gets cautioned in the 52nd for grabbing the ball from the goal, second yellow and sent off in the 55th minute for a hands-to-face offense. The infamous hands-to-face is making an appearance again. So 10 minutes on the pitch, a goal, 2 yellow cards, and he's ejected from the match. Legend.
Gosh, I love it. Absolute legend. Hey, he lasted about as long as John Foyt did this weekend. So for Tottenham, he got red carded. He subbed on at halftime, got red carded in the 48th, ladies and gentlemen. So,
hey, but he wasn't the first person to get red carded for them.
That's true.
Yes, and we'll probably get to that later when we talk about Champions League.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, guys, sounds like a lot of stuff in title races are going along around the world. Trav, I'm going to kick it to you to talk about a top Carmichael.
Thanks, bud.
I refer to new guy as A-Day.
Okay,
cool. New guy. Love it.
FNG. It's been a few years since I've heard that. It was my name in high school, and then came to college, and everyone just called me Trav again. So
we
name.
thought it was a day, so that's our fault.
Yeah. Had to shout you out on Twitter before I was a member of the crew.
Yeah. Hey, but we're so glad you're here now, and now we know your name. Yeah.
Indeed.
But Trav, Trav Carmichael, I'm going to toss it over to you to talk about the only topic you're familiar with because you're an Arsenal fan. So give us your Europa League dissection from the weekend.
We look great. We look unbelievable on a Thursday night. So, I mean, you need to relax. We look unbelievable on a Thursday night, all right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, look, I watched the Arsenal game. It was good. I mean, it's hard. Valencia comes into Emirates Stadium. I mean, it's a home game for Arsenal, which they're very good. So it's going to depend on the away form. I mean, Valencia went up 1-0 very early in the 11th minute. Lacazette is on fire. He got the brace 18th and 25th minute. And then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in the 90th. Look, the storyline here is Arsenal obviously win 3-1, but this game was close. Arsenal go 2-1 up, and they're going to be really disappointed, Valencia, giving up that third goal. It was kind of a cross to the back post. No one really tracked Aubameyang, who made a great inside to outside run. And then he kind of smashed it off the goalkeeper and in. So I really think that this goal is the difference. I think if they win 2-1 and they go back to Valencia, I don't think they go through. But now with the third goal, that changes a lot. So I think they have the potential to go through. Man, I think they're going to go to the final, and I think given everything that happened in the EPL, which we'll get to, that might be their only chance at a Champions League spot.
Yeah, I agree. And then, of course, Eintracht versus Chelsea, a 1-1 draw there. Everything to play for. But, Trav, that's a very good transition into what I want our main topic to be for this pod. Guys, a huge, huge, huge weekend in the Premier League. We had a top four, just thunderous results happen and dreams dashed, celebrations heard from around the world. Also, we had some interesting developments in our title race too. So, Mr. Dr. Greggles himself, I'm going to kick it over to you. You've been kind of quiet since we got it started here. Manchester United now out of top four contention. They will play in Europa League next season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went from a winning record to now only having won 2 games since he's been named the interim manager, 2 Premier League games, or since he's been named full-time manager, excuse me. Was this a rash decision by Ed Woodward and the bunch? Do you think Ole has what it takes to turn it around next season? Like, give us your post-mortem now on Manchester United.
Yeah, so I mean, I think first, they kind of are what they are, and they couldn't close the deal. They didn't get the job done, so they don't deserve to play above Europa League. So, the top 4 was elusive, and, they had their chances and they couldn't do it. So, as for the hiring, I think like many fans, and maybe hindsight's 2020, clearly they went on an unprecedented run, when Ole came in, but it would have been nice to let them get through the entire season and finish the season with an interim manager and then make the decision in the off season. See if he was able to kind of, really turn the whole course of the season around or not.
Yeah, I mean, but look, I agree with you, but how can you not give him the job after he beats PSG like that? I mean, that was massive. You had to ink him or else somebody else would have.
Yeah, maybe, but it's still pretty early. So I think you ride the season and, you kind of told him going into this, you're the interim manager for the rest of the season. We'll make the decision on the final, full-time manager after the season. And you still would have been okay with him with that. Look, he was thrilled to get the opportunity.
Yeah,
right? And so now I think he's a little bit like David Moyes, to be honest with you. He's in, in this dream job, but he's in over his head a bit. He's kind of lost the locker room. And so can he turn it around? I mean, I don't know. Jury's out. And if he can't, then what do you do? Right? So, I mean, it's probably going to be, I hate to say it, another year for United fans where they're like just trying to figure out what we got here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing I wanted to bring up too, because there's been some quotes in the past from David Moyes saying that, he could have brought in players like Gareth Bale, or he could have brought Ronaldo back to the club if Ed Woodward would have been willing to bite the bullet and spend the money to make the club successful. So do you think that Woodward's part of the problem?
Well, he could be, but I think, Ole definitely bleeds red, and so I think he's going to have the backing of the club to give him what he needs to take the next step. Clearly, there's some players that are aging that they've got to turn over. They signed some deals that maybe weren't good deals. So, we'll see. The transfer market is always exciting, and let's hope they can go, bring in some players that are going to help them I think particularly in the back, I mean, their central defense is a joke. Horrendous. And then, look.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Smalling's not terrible, but other than him, you don't really have any other options.
Yeah, I mean, Phil Jones, really. I mean, so it's tough to kind of watch the middle. And De Gea, let's be honest, De Gea was probably one of the top goalkeepers in the league the last 3 or 4 years, and this year he hasn't had a great season. So that makes a big difference. I mean, he probably got them 5, 6, 7 points the last couple of years, and this year he hasn't. He's probably cost them some points. So I don't know. They are what they are. At least they're in the top 6. Arsenal kind of had the same thing go on today. They had the door open for them, and they couldn't close the deal either. So they're going to be right there with us unless they can win the Europa League.
Yeah, I agree, and that's the thing that I wanted to touch on again about Ed Woodward is out of the top European clubs, you don't really know who is behind the scenes a lot, or you know who they are, but they're not really in the press. I feel like for all the wrong reasons, Ed Woodward is a celebrity GM. And that to me does not sit well. I think that he has a lot of power at the club, and I don't think he's doing all the right things to make this club successful. And they really, really haven't been a top tier club since Alec Ferguson left. So a lot to keep our eyes on there, guys. Kind of moving it along here. Chelsea, Aiden, I'm going to kick it to you for the Chelsea game. I know that, for as far as the Premier League goes, maybe you don't have that many allegiances to clubs, but I feel like we need a Chelsea guy besides Chris on here to analyze these games. So Chelsea 3-0 winners at Watford. Hosting Watford today. Loftus-Cheek with the first goal, David Luiz and Higuain with the last 2. They secured a top 4 finish. So, Aiden, knowing that the transfer ban is coming up for the next at least 2 years with this team, I know they've tried to appeal it, but let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and know that and say that the transfer ban is going to hold. What do you see in the future of the Chelsea team? Are they a Premier League title contending team with the talent they got now? Are they going to be Champions League competitors next year? What are you feeling?
Before Trav answers that question, are you trying to turn him into a Chelsea fan?
Hey, man, I'm doing what's best for the pod. So
wow, we have one. We don't need more.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to get on the mic.
I mean, yeah, he's a coward. We all knew that. He's a great producer.
You want to be a Tottenham fan?
Stop. All right, Chelsea it is.
My one and only is FC Dallas, and I've been loyal to that since 2005, and
Hash Brown FC Dallas.
There it is.
Hash Brown, play your kids. Anyway, yeah, they secured the top 4 spot with the win over Watford. One of our good friends, Ben Hammond, was actually in attendance at that match.
Benny boy.
Yes, sir. He took a trip out to London and caught that game. Yeah, the transfer ban, that's a little bit of a situation, I guess. Yeah, we've seen Pulisic has been rumored. I haven't seen. Has he officially signed with Chelsea? Or
yes, he has. Yes,
okay.
He has.
But then he can't come in until after the ban is over, or what?
No, he was their last signing before the ban started.
Okay, yeah. So I definitely think Pulisic will fill the gap if Hazard leaves, and that's gonna.
Oh, Hazard's already gone, dude. Let's not even play about
He's
that.
He's wearing white, baby.
Anyway, yeah. I think
producer Chris is crying again.
Maybe Hudson-Odoi will fill in the void there.
Oh, yeah, the hurt Hudson-Odoi. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The Achilles ruptured Hudson-Odoi. Good call.
Yeah, I think Pulisic can fill the void, but I don't know if Chelsea can get back to where they were with the double winning season under Mourinho several years ago. They haven't really touched that much.
Yeah. Do you think they'll make a dent in the Champions League at all, or do you think that that's not even a possibility?
Not a chance.
All right, Mr. Dr. Greggles, what do you think about this? Will they be competitive in Champions League? What's the future outlook for Chelsea?
Yeah, so I think Chelsea's still pretty stacked, and I think it is likely they lose Hazard, maybe a few other players.
You think without Hazard they're a good team?
Yeah, I think they're still pretty good. Yeah,
really.
And they've got a couple of young guys coming up, and they got some injuries.
Mason.
So look, they're already going to make Champions League. So will they be competitive? Yeah, I think they'll be competitive. Are they going to qualify for Champions League again next time? Maybe not.
Hypothetically, we could still celebrate. We could still celebrate St. Nottingham's Day.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen, my boy.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Sorry about you.
All done but the math, which apparently I failed at.
Apparently.
God.
Math major.
Wow. Yeah, so I can't help but agree with Travis about this Chelsea team. I don't think that they have the talent. I mean, when you look at their back line, David Luiz should not be a week in, week out Premier League starter at this point.
Absolutely.
I think Alex Christensen is all right, but he's still pretty young.
For
Rudiger's
Europa
good,
League.
But that midfield is also a travesty, too. You have Jorginho, which, my God, why is he even playing in the Premier League? The dude is a liability on the ball. It's ridiculous. Also, N'Golo Kante is not playing as a 6, so I think the only saving grace for the Chelsea team is if they get a new manager. They need desperately, we've talked on the show before about, should they bring Mourinho back? Should they bring in a guy like Eddie Howe?
No, we're not bringing back Brad Friedel.
God.
Stop it. Brad Friedel will not have a job soon.
That team doesn't have enough character for Brad Friedel.
They're not
There's
waiting
not enough culture in that locker room. Hey, but he's got to bring Big Will Sahibo with him if he comes.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Hey, but and maybe even, Rafa Benitez is kind of on the rocks right now with Newcastle because they're not wanting to spend money. Maybe he goes back to Chelsea. I could see that happening too. So if they get a top-end manager that can kind of sort out the talent gap, I think that they could be okay because there's something to be said about coaching a team up. I mean, and Benitez is, in my opinion, the best guy to do that. Look what he's done with this Newcastle team.
And Mason, so the reality of the situation as well is that Chelsea are going to appeal the transfer ban. I think they have already. And the reality of the situation
they're not going to get it.
No, I understand. But the reality of the situation is even if they lose the appeal, which they will, the appeal is suspended. So they get one more transfer window this summer when they suspend the appeal. Yes, it's true. When you appeal,
look at the big brain on Brad.
When you appeal to get a transfer ban suspended, that means that they don't inflict the punishment and they push the punishment off, they're appealing just to get one more transfer window, and they're going to have one more transfer window to bring people in. And I'm going to tell you what, they better bring some studs. They better use that money from Real Madrid that are going to pay for Hazard, and they better buy some young talent that can play.
Gareth Bale?
No, washed up. That's not the direction the club needs to go for Chelsea. I
would take Gareth Bale.
Not at Chelsea. You need young talent because the reality is if the transfer ban does go through for 2 years or whatever, in 2 years, Gareth Bale's career is over at the highest level. So you need somebody that can come in and play. I think, like we said, the signings they've already made are very good. Hudson-Odoi is very good. I mean, obviously he's injured with the Achilles, but kind of that type player you can bring in and can have an impact for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with any of that. I think that whatever is going to happen, if you're a Chelsea fan, you're kind of anxiously awaiting your fate. And there's a lot of question marks and maybe a black cloud around the club right now. But yeah, guys, pretty interesting there for Chelsea. The other club that is pretty much almost safe, even though they lost this past weekend, guys, I'm talking about Tottenham here. They, of course, lost this weekend 1-0 to Bournemouth. A Nathan Ake goal at the death. Kind of seeing them out there. This Tottenham team has looked, again, they've been a team that's overachieved, in my opinion, from the talent they have. They've been kind of coached up by Pochettino, which has made him a very, very wanted man in the world soccer community. Travis Carmichael, I'm going to kick this one to you because I know how much you love Tottenham. What do you see in Tottenham's future? They're probably going to finish top 4. They're probably going to finish in the Champions League spots. They have a chance at overcoming the 1-goal lead that Ajax has over them to book their ticket to the Champions League final. What is the ceiling for this Tottenham team?
I mean, look, I think that entirely depends on the club as a whole. You have to decide as a club, what are you? Are you a selling club? Are you a buying club? Are you a develop your players and keep your players club? In the past, Tottenham have always been a selling club. So the question moving forward, right now, there's no doubt they deserve to be in the top 4. They are very good. Harry Kane, Son, Dele Alli. I mean, you look at their back line is very good. Hugo Lloris, I'm not a big fan of, but he's still a good goalkeeper. The question becomes, if they keep the roster, they're going to be contenders for Champions League for sure. Not this season, but next season as well. But I don't know, man. I think Kane might be on the out. I think Dele Alli eventually could be on the out. I think you sell some of your... You don't think Harry Kane's going to leave?
No, I think they're going to say, I think that was the good distinction you made too about, are they a selling club? Are they a buying club? Are they a raise up youth talent and make them stay club? I think under Pochettino, you've seen this shift from a selling club to a, hey, we have a really, really good academy. We're going to bring players up through it like Harry Kane, like Harry Winks, Oliver Skip, Danny Rose, and we're Dele Alli, and we're going to keep these guys here and let them be first-team competitors and international caliber players. And I think that's what's made Tottenham successful. Because if you look, the past 2 transfer windows, who is the only player they've brought in?
They have not spent a lot of money.
Lucas Moura.
Which was a good signing.
There was a lot of people that were flabbergasted over the summer because they didn't bring in a single transfer. And everyone was like, Pochettino's nuts, like what he's doing. But you look at how consistent this team has been. This team has been at times in the title race this season with Liverpool and City. They're in the semifinals of the Champions League, and they're going to make Champions League next year. And if you told me all of that at the beginning of the season for Tottenham, and I was a Tottenham fan, I would be ecstatic about that, because that is a way, 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 way bigger overachievement for this club than I ever would have expected from the start of the season if you look at the roster on paper.
Yeah, let me jump in on this though. I think that, you can't judge them by the last 4 or 5 weeks. So when Kane went down and got hurt, that was a big change. I think the motor for this club is really through Eriksen, and Eriksen hasn't looked great the last several weeks. And Song lost his mind today, and then Foyth right behind him, or yesterday, I guess. Yeah. So, on Saturday. And, those things happen. But I don't think you can kind of like mark the whole team that, they're not really going to be at that elite level still. So, I think they're still going to be around. I think they got money. They got backing. They're going to make some signings in the offseason. Hey, there's going to be players available that Chelsea can't sign, so maybe they'll go get some of those.
I think they're one big player away from being very successful in terms of a global standpoint, in terms of the Champions League. I think that obviously you look at it now and it's like, all right, Son is suspended and Harry Kane is injured and they kind of lose their shape a little bit. So you have to have somebody that isn't Fernando Llorente, which I love to death. And I predicted he would score in the Champions League. But you have to go get somebody that is versatile, somebody that can play maybe a 10, maybe on the wing, maybe a striker as well. You have to get some versatility.
They are one holding midfielder away from being an elite team.
I do 100% agree with that. I think Victor Wanyama is unbelievable, but Victor Wanyama and Eric Dyer is not quite an elite level 6. They should just spend the money.
And then Sissoko, Wink, Skip, you're kind of plugging the gap and seeing who's ever in form. You need a guy next to Wanyama who can be a difference maker on that team. And I think that's the one thing, because you look, they have goals from the wings in Son and Eriksen and Ali and Moura. They have a string puller in Eriksen. They have a world-class number 9 in Harry Kane. They have a solid world-class back line as well. They just are missing that shield in front of the back line, which I think if you look at the goal they got scored on this past week in the Champions League, it was a third-man runner out of midfield.
True.
Maybe they can get Vidal, because all he does is win, baby.
True. Vidal wins league titles. Mason, bold prediction here for you.
At 34 years old.
Yeah. Mason, bold prediction here for you. I think that suspension of the transfer ban from Chelsea sell Hazard, and they use the money from Hazard and the money that Tottenham spend on N'Golo Kante to buy 45 players, and N'Golo Kante plays as a 6 for Tottenham.
No.
That's kind of funny, though.
How much alcohol are y'all consuming?
Easy pain, man.
At this recording.
That would be funny, though.
Yeah, it would be funny, but it's not going to happen. They're not going to get rid of N'Golo Kante.
Of course it's not going to happen.
Honestly, if you get a coach in there that knows what he's doing, he'll tell Jorginho to walk before he tells N'Golo Kante to walk.
Producer Chris is absolutely giving you the death glare.
Why? Because Sarri doesn't know what he's doing? Sorry, PC.
Sorry doesn't know what he's doing.
In the words of Mike Petke, drain my bank account. I don't care anymore.
Mason's not getting paid anymore. I'm taking his salary.
Oh, man. What does the world come to? So I think that Tottenham, guys, again, just to hit the highlights on this analysis here, they are a good team. They're maybe being coached above their level. They're maybe one or two elite attacking or midfield pieces away from being in a top-tier team, but we can't disagree with each other on the fact that they've been a fun team to watch this year.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and now to Arsenal. 1-1 against Brighton today. Penalty kick for Aubameyang, and then, of course, the other ageless wonder, Glenn Murray, gets his 200th penalty kick goal in his career for Brighton. 1-1, and honestly, guys, this game was so open that Brighton had 2 opportunities at the end of the match to win this one. If the final pass would have been better, they would have been in 1-on-1 on the goal. They would have won this game. So that means that Arsenal, barring an act of God, will not be in a Champions League spot unless they win the Europa League. So I'm just going to open this up because I love ragging on Arsenal. One of you, just give me your thoughts on this Arsenal team and what the heck has been going wrong.
For me, I don't necessarily think anything's going that wrong. If you look at the form, to be fair, I really like Emery. Unai Emery has done outstanding. People forget the fact that Arsene Wenger, one of the best, I think, top 5 managers of all time, leaves the club after, decades. I think that transition is hard. You look at Man United, they struggled for a long time. You look at, Liverpool overturning managers, they struggled for a long time. So that transition is always hard. So Unai Emery's done an outstanding job. It's a new system. He's brought in players to play the system. I think one more year and one more transfer window will do him good. The tactics have been excellent. He's a very good man manager. He handles the Aubameyang Lacazette thing very well. But the reality is Arsenal are looking to win the Europa. And I think that's very doable. But now Arsenal win the Europa. They go to the Champions League ideally, but worst case scenario, they play one more year in the Europa, which is not good, but at the same time, it doesn't really cripple the club. Because if you look at the last 5 years of Arsene Wenger, they were kind of fringe between Champions League and Europa anyway. They were in the Champions League, but really didn't have any expectations to advance from the group or do anything special. So I think it's a rebuild, and the fans are being patient, and the owners are being patient, and I think Unai Emery is absolutely the man for the job, and in 1 year he's made unbelievable strides.
Yeah, Ade, I'm going to kick this one over to you, and I'm going to kind of word it in your language here a little bit. You're a big MLS guy. Exactly. I love you for that. So the Rapids the Arsenal is owned by Stan Kroenke, the owner of the Rapids. So Correct. You have had firsthand experience seeing what has happened to this Rapids team over the years as Kroenke has taken over as the main investor. So seeing that with Kroenke and then seeing how their best players are kind of being shipped out, as in the big Aaron Ramsey transfer that has happened this past year, that he went on a free transfer because they didn't want to offer him a big new contract. Same thing happened with Alexis Sanchez. They didn't want to offer him a big contract. Do you think his ownership is kind of inhibiting Arsenal from really reaching their pinnacle as an elite club again?
I think it has. We've seen a little bit of the same thing with the Rapids. They're overspending on some mediocre defenders.
It's a tale of two classes, man.
Exactly, but yeah, you can kind of see the same thing with Arsenal. They're not being very smart with the contracts, and they're letting guys go for free. They're not really bringing in top level talent, and they're consistently going to be upper mid table. I think for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much where I have them as well. I think unless the team is willing to spend big money, and look, they brought in Aubameyang, that was a big deal. They brought in Lacazette. They brought in Ozil a couple of years back, but they got to really, really invest in this back line.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm better at center back than Mustafi is right now.
Yeah, for sure. Before we kind of wrap up this Premier League talk, guys, top 4 set looks like Chelsea and Tottenham will finish in those last 2 spots. Of course, Liverpool won this weekend, putting them at top spot. City has that big game against Leicester tomorrow. Come on, Brendan Rodgers. I believe in you. You can do it for us, lad. You almost did it in 13-14. It's your time to shine. Any parting words on the state of the Premier League right now and where you think we're going to end up at the end of the season?
I'd just say this. First and foremost, what an incredible Premier League we've had. It's a top 4 race and a title race, and it's also the first time the top 2 teams ever in the history of the Premier League have both been above 90 points. Which is pretty incredible. I think City takes it. I think they hang on, and I'm hoping for you, Mason, but I think City takes it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, guys, it's definitely been a pretty exciting season here in the Premier League. I know I've had a good time watching. Before we kind of wrap up this pod, does anybody have any other big pieces of news they want to talk about, or any other things that our listeners at home should be aware of?
Yeah, Mason, that's a great question. Earlier this week, Iker Casillas, Spanish and Real Madrid legend, he suffered a heart attack in Porto training, and he has had a coronary implant placed, and they're saying he might never play again. So definitely our thoughts and prayers go out to him as an all-time goalkeeping legend. This is some big soccer news that you hate to hear, especially with guys dealing with heart issues. Fabrice Mwamba comes to mind with Bolton. But yeah, definitely. They're saying that he'll spend a couple more days in the hospital and be released, but should live a normal life. But the odds that he goes back to being a full professional are slim. So definitely, thoughts and prayers go out to the Casillas family.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's amazing that you can see professional athletes. I mean, Bobby Ryan's another great example.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
They can play their whole career and run and work their heart so hard, and then, off the field, they have an issue like that, and it's just, it's really a shame to see.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Casillas is, first off, we're happy he's okay from a life standpoint. From a soccer standpoint, we don't know if he's going to play ever again. They're going to talk about that and decide, but I mean, that doesn't take away from his amazing career. I mean, one of the best goalkeepers to ever play the game, World Cup winner, UEFA winner, UEFA Champions League winner, obviously La Liga winner, and now a servant to Porto, but one of the best professionals to ever play the game, one of the best goalkeepers to ever play the game, and obviously our prayers go out to him and his family, and we hope that he is in soccer shape to play, but we're just happy that he's alive and well and is able to spend his time with his family. So,
yeah, I agree, guys, and Travis knows this better than anybody. Like, Iker Casillas was one of the players that, growing up, I just admired.
Absolutely.
He was a competitor. He was a winner. He was hungry for everything, especially if you think about that 2008 Spain team where they really had their coming out party to being one of the world superpowers in the international game when they won those Euros. Iker Casillas was a huge part of that. He was also a huge part of their World Cup triumph, too, in 2010. And, guys, it's sad that this is the way that he's got to go out of the game. I wish that he would have got to call time on it himself, but this guy's been playing at a high level since he was 16. I think he made his debut in La Liga when he was 17 as a starting goalkeeper. And this is a guy that's had a long, illustrious career who now can maybe get into the more tactical coaching side of the game as well. And hopefully he's going to keep staying involved in the game in any way that he can. But of course, really, really, really sad loss here for the soccer community. And again, just glad that he's going to be able to live on after this. And even if his soccer career is coming to an end, guys. Guys, you got anything else for our listeners? Or I think that might be a pretty good place to leave off here.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Darth Vader, Greg Carmichael, my father. What'd you think? First show?
I thought it was awesome. Had a blast. Definitely great dialogue, and like to come back sometime.
Awesome, man. You're always welcome.
Yeah.
Trav, what'd you think?
It's great second episode, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm here for the ride for the future. Yeah.
Heck yeah. And of course, I'm always enjoying it, whether I'm in the flesh or on a Skype. Guys, glad to be back. Missed being away from you guys for Friday's episode. I know that Trav, and Chris killed it. Guys, you can always listen to our pods in many different ways, however you want. We're on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. We're working on SoundCloud and Pandora right now. Of course, hit us up on socials if you want to interact with us or give us a follow for any updates or big news announcements we got coming up. Of course, on Twitter, that's at @B_radio. Instagram, box_radio. Facebook, easy to find, just Box to Box Radio. And then, of course, for any mailbag questions, hit us up at 90min@boxtoboxradio.com. Thanks so much for listening. I've been your host, Mason Carmichael. Of course, with, as always, Travis Carmichael. With us to stay is Travis Ade, and thanks for the guest appearance from Greg Carmichael. Y'all have a phenomenal week. We'll see you.